Hello, welcome to Centurion's Corner, and today we have a bit of a review session to go on. Now, I've been away, I've been getting a few figures here and there, but I just don't generally have the time to do the reviews. So I thought, do you know what? Let's chuck them all into one review, and then we can have a bit of an opening session here. So we've got She-Hulk. Now, the pre-order just come through. I was on holiday, and she was on my doorstep when I arrived. So luckily for that one. And yeah, it's the She-Hulk that I've been long awaiting for. Maybe not the full uniform, you know, like the swimsuit with the white stripe down the middle, but this is pretty much as close as possible it could get. So I'm happy with this one. Mundi, I mean, this guy's had some controversy over the few weeks, and his figures come out as well. So even the figure caused controversy because this guy's been on pre-order for at least 132 years, let alone that he's now got a new age in Star Wars. But yeah, it looks really cool and looks really nice, and another Jedi to add to the shelf. And on top of that, I have actually been enjoying Acolyte, even though it has got me saying an outspoken on Instagram, just saying that I do like it. Yeah, it's funny how people can really get offended by it, but I just generally think it's all right. I want to watch the whole series before making that a thing. It's not great. I mean, it's not like the best Star Wars ever, but I'm enjoying it, and I want to see how the story progresses, that's for sure. And then this one here, I picked up on In Demand Toys. It went down in the sale. It's one that I've always kind of wanted to get, the six-arm Spider-Man. It's just another variant for the shelf. And then Morbis as well, just another Spider-Man character to put on there, and someone for Blade to fight as well. So we have a quick rundown of the boxes, and then we get into the actual reviews of each figure itself. So yeah, She-Hulk has come in. She's literally on an old Iron Man retro card from the 90s, looking pretty cool. It's quite a larger card. I mean, you compare it to the Black Series box, I mean, it's still going up hell of a long way there of Iron Man flying into action, with She-Hulk on the side. She don't really come with much, a few extra hands and a broken gun here. And I always hate when I see my figures like this in a box, because I just think like, oh, those joints, they look a bit crushed. On the back there, got a massive display part, not even saying what figures are in this line, just this very simple kind of She-Hulk picture there. And it's quite nice. So I guess you could put it on the background and some sort of like villains talking in front of it if you wanted to put a computer console or something here. That would be pretty cool. Up top here we have got a little picture and a little bio as well that you can see. Mundi still in the old sort of, well, the reissued kind of packaging, but not the newer style packaging as of yet, but with the red transcending through for Attack of the Clones. Just got his general lightsaber here, no other accessories at all on the inside. There we've got Mundi on the side, and on the back we have his bio, and he's number 4 in the Attack of the Clones kind of side here. And then for the Spider-Man and Morbis set, just again on the front, very sort of rendered here. On the side, more renders of the actual figures. A little bit of comic there with Morbis fighting Spider-Man as he's going through his sort of like a kind of transformation. We've got some extra hands here, whipping and punching, and then he's got this sort of extra little cape as well on this part. So let's crack on with these reviews. So starting off with, we're going through with She-Hulk here, and she's looking pretty nice, to be honest. I kind of wish that Hasbro went a little bit more and went to more of a deluxe figure for this one. I just kind of wish that she had more accessories, and mainly an alternative head, because the hair, even though it's great and like massive it is, it kind of just hinders the figure in kind of action poses. So yeah, I would like to pay a little bit more, and maybe a few extra effects in there, sort of like smashing effects and stuff, but it definitely doesn't take away from the figure as what we got. But yeah, she comes with a couple of hands here. I mean, we come with alternative hands. I've got one of each on her at the moment. So she's got a grippy hand. Details are not too bad. I mean, the fluorescent green kind of hides most of it. It's on a peg system and obviously hinges up and down. And we've got a punching hand as well. The green, I would say, comes up a lot more greener on here. She's a bit more pasteler in real life compared to the MCU one. I'll bring in the other She-Hulks that I've got. She's got this extra gun here as well. It doesn't look too bad. Let's just get it into her here. Details look fantastic. Unfortunately, there's no sort of like extra paint apps on there. I kind of wish there was a little peg system just inside there. You could actually put in like a spark effect or something. So it looks like when she's snapping it in half, the spark comes out. I mean, you probably could just balance it inside there. But yeah, not too bad. I mean, you can make a sort of like fight some Cobra from your G.I. Joe line to make her look like she's sort of breaking their guns and stuff. So it's a bit weird that we haven't got any kind of thug person to go against. But yeah, She-Hulk as she stands are looking magnificent, if I may say so myself. And we go through articulation. So head-wise, really, she only can turn left and right. She can rotate all around. I mean, obviously, if you're into that kind of thing, but yeah, that's about it. We've got a bit of rocker there. You could put a little bit of kind of personality into that head tilt there. She can't really look down, and she definitely cannot look up. Now, just taking this off really quickly as well. It's on the ball joint, but just inside you can see some ears. I was just pulling back the glue. So if anyone was sort of like capable of sort of resculpting hair and they wanted to use this original head, then you can do so. I was kind of thinking maybe dribbling back these parts here so it's not too much over the shoulders, but she still won't be able to look up because of the massive mane on the back. Arm-wise, she's got full rotation around, obviously hindered by that hair there, and it comes up to this far. Rotation of upper bicep. We've got a double elbow joint that comes all the way and pinless. This part here is an extra bit of plastic, but it doesn't rotate there. I guess it's just they can use the body again and put some gloves on or something there. Rotation at the hinge and the swivel there, shall I say, at the wrist. And then diaphragm, we can turn left, she can turn right. There's a little bit of tilt there as well. She can push forward and she can push back a little bit more, which really helps her to look up, even though her head cannot do so. Leg-wise, come up this far, forward, back, upper thigh rotation there. We have a double knee that comes up to this far as well. Doesn't go all the way. She's got big, large thighs here, but we have got a boot cut that swivels, and we've got a rocket and a pivot at the ankle. So really good articulation. And one thing I must say is the articulation feels so smooth. It's like buttery smooth. It just feels like I'm just pushing it and it goes in that way. I don't feel like I'm having to bend the elbow there and then bend it again, and you know, she actually feels really smooth, which is nice. So yeah, really good figure all around by Hasbro. But looking at the actual details of this, really pops. That face just looks magnificent. It looks probably like a decent photo reel, in my opinion. It's probably, they're getting better and better for Marvel Legends. Just the extra shadowing under the eye. You can even see the individual eyelashes there, and there's a gloss on the eyes compared to the actual skin as well. And the figure, I was a bit worried that it might look glossy, but there's actually a matte finish over the top of it. The lights pick up on the camera a little bit more, making it look more glossier than it is in real life. But yeah, the teeth and the gloss on the lips looking superb. The hair as well, sculpted really nicely with that extra kind of brushing all the way through, looking great. And then down on the arms, everything's kind of basic as well. As I said before, you know, they could actually bring out this figure again with this sort of the different kind of basis of the sort of leotard, where it comes up to a neck, and then we've got the white stripe that goes down. But yeah, looking really good. I think this is going to be the most pinnacle She-Hulk, definitely on the shelf, and she looks magnificent. So I just put her on the back here, make her just stand up, and we do a couple comparisons. So this was the first She-Hulk that I purchased, and I think she had black down here, and this was white, and I sort of changed it a little bit more sort of colours to sort of coincide with a She-Hulk. She was good when she came out, but the articulation was kind of plain. Her hair was kind of like this, and to be honest, it was like the closest kind of comic She-Hulk that we got. This one here being the most pinnacle. And obviously we had the MCU one that come out, which was even closer really compared to the comic version. As you can see, this one is a lot more pasteler than this one, but this one's got more of a lime green about it. But as I said, it shows more up on the camera. It is a bit more duller in the real life there. And then just bringing in a regular kind of female Marvel Legends character, and you can see the size comparison as well. I actually thought this one here was quite of a large female form, but this one is a lot larger as well, so which also adds to it. So it's pretty cool for just a standard figure and not a deluxe in that way. We've actually got a really nice sort of figure there. So I'm just going to push her at the back because I'm going to bring in her cousin, and then he's going to stand there, and so you can see the size differences between the Marvel Legends, even though this one's a little bit smaller because it is the bootleg. A lot of people still ask about my bootleg Hulk, and yeah, here he is. He's still going. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So moving on to Kylie Monday, and again, this is actually a really nice figure from Hasbro. Yes, we have waited a hell of a long time for this guy, and some bits kind of make sense, like his articulation, and others don't. I know because of the time frame of when this guy was revealed, nothing has changed. But then I think, like, well, they've done this so long ago, why aren't the newer figures using the technology that this guy has? So anyway, starting off with, he only comes with one accessory, which is his lightsaber. Looking quite basic and quite normal. It's just silver on there, just around on there. We've got a little black button just on that side as well. He holds it quite nicely. I would say maybe the lightsaber in his hand looks quite small compared to his hand sort of size ratio on there. So yeah, the hilt does look a bit too thin, but I think they might have used this one before with Grievous. It's on the lightsaber as well. It's done in the blue clear plastic as normal. You got the peg system on like that, and he also has the little hole in his belt that the peg can go into, and then he can hold it on there. Obviously advised as normal, it's not going to hold all the time, so if your character does fall off the shelf, then you might find that your lightsaber might ping off as well. The only downside I would say on this one is kind of lacking a little bit of details. He normally has like the black lines through there, you know, it's like the leather sort of holds or little rubber rings around, so it's kind of missing a few little black lines in there. It's not normally all silver. I was looking at a couple of reference pictures just before I went into the review, so yeah, a little bit down on the app part there. Going with this guy's articulation though, well, he's probably one of the better Jedis out there, I must admit. So head-wise, he's got an upper neck movement, which is on the ball joint at the top there. So he's got a lot of movement looking up and down as well. And then he's got lower neck movement down here, which I would imagine is a dumbbell kind of joint. So he's got full rotation all the way around, not really hindered at all. You can even look down like this, but you can also sort of like shunt it forward and look down a bit more. So he's got a lot of movement there, which is quite nice. So we've got that kind of collar around there, which I'd imagine is a small piece with the ball joint that goes through, so that part can move around as well. So yeah, a lot of movement there in the upper neck section. On the arms inside there, you can see a nice little butterfly joint, so we've got forward and back. We also got the arm can come up to this far, and obviously the rotation or 360 all the way around at the shoulder. No swivel at the sort of part here, but we've got swivel at the elbow. On a single elbow joint, you can see the nice cutout line as well, so you can actually go up a lot further than 90 degrees, which is good. And then at the wrist here, we've got full rotation all around, obviously, but there's no hinge because it's actually on a ball system, very similar to the Indiana Jones style there. So yeah, it just seems weird that they've introduced this character out a long time ago, a long time ago, but on for the pre-order. But none of the characters since then have really been using this kind of hand part on there. But it's really nice for the lightsaber movement as well for his hands. At the waist here, he can turn left, he can turn right. Got a little bit of tilt on there as well. He can rock back and he can rock forward as well pretty far. And this is all completely different as well. So this actually is a separate part. So this bit that moves around on these robe there, and these flaps are actually glued to the upper sort of like groin area. So yeah, so he's actually got movement all around there. It's not sort of hindered at all by his robes. Leg wise, they can come up this way and forward up to that far. We've got the upper swivel movement in there. I'll try and get the light in there, so it's not quite like the newer versions where the swivel is in the hip. Down on the legs, we've got a single knee joint, but comes up again at more than 90, and then we've got boot swivel as well down here, and a rocket and a pivot, looking really nice. So yeah, looking over the figure as well, eyes looking pretty nice on this guy, looking really good, and the hair is pretty nice as well. I would just say it kind of looks a little bit odd down here where they've literally gone and just cut it through, so it's on the same sort of level as his neck movement and the hair. I kind of wish it did drape down a little bit, or this was a separate part, you know, there's a little bit of sort of softer rubber plastic at the back there. But yeah, and the other thing I would say is I wish there was a bit more sort of darker, fleshy kind of parts in the paint, just to give off a little bit more definition around on these bits, so they actually look like a little bit of shading and stuff as well on his face. But yeah, the beard sculpt and everything looks pretty good. Coming down to his robes, you've got all the bobble effect on there, you've got the lines and stuff all in his sort of like robes, I guess. I mean, it's more like a woolier type of jumper. And then coming down to his hands as well, so slightly different, a lot more sort of sausage fingers going on here with his knuckles and stuff as well. So yeah, not just normal humanoid hands down here. I would say on his belt it's kind of missing a few extra sort of like bits that make it pop out. So maybe like painting this black and a couple of copper type buttons and stuff around there holding on his belt into place. So missing a few paint apps on there, and then missing some paint apps down on his boots as well. I mean, you can see it kind of looks like there's two separate colours, but there's not. But yeah, these need sort of like bronzing, I guess, as well, making the little buckles stand out a little bit. So paint applications and paint wise, got his little pouch here again with no paint on it at all, apart from just the brown. I just think those little extra bits would go a long way to make this character really nice. But apart from that, I think Hasbro have done a really good job for this guy, and I'm looking forward to more Jedis. I'm definitely looking forward to the Acolyte figures as well, just even adding some Jedis in that way as well to the shelf, if I do say so myself. But him standing there, we can bring in a couple of the extra other Jedis as well. So we've got Plo Koon, so he fits in quite nicely. I didn't really realise how tall he was compared, because Plo Koon's quite a tall guy. And then Ket Fisto as well, who is supposed to be about the same size as these guys, but he's a bit shorter because he's on Obi-Wan's body. But yeah, looking pretty cool, like we're adding more of the Alien Jedis to the shelf. So next up, we've got Spider-Man from the double pack here. This one will be a quick review, to be honest, but it comes with two little swiffing hands. And then when I say little, these hands are tiny compared to a lot of the comic versions there. I think these are some of the old Tom Holland hands, to be honest with you. They're on the hinge, and obviously they can be swapped over with the arms there on Spider-Man. But yeah, I must admit, when I first got this out of the box, I was so glad that I didn't pay full price for these guys. It just feels quite gummy in all the limbs and stuff there, and you can see that in the leg, just really soft. They're just very large, kind of sort of articulated kind of areas, and with the large pins as well, it just feels slightly odd. But yeah, anyway, articulation wise, head wise, turn left, right. It's on the disc with a ball hinge at the top there, so pretty cool with the movement. But yeah, you ain't going to get no movement in there at all, as in sort of a tilt. Full rotation around at the arms, so these can go all the way around. Yeah, they are slightly hindered by all the other arms, but they all follow the same process, so they come up this far. We've got rotation at the upper arm here. We've got a double elbow joint with the large pins there in place, and then we've got the rocker and a pivot at the ankle, not the ankle, at the wrist there. We've got swivel on the hinge. So yeah, as you can see, it's very thin around on here, and the costume is a little bit strange as well in design, kind of giving me a bit more of Amazing Spider-Man 1 in my opinion. On the back got the large spider there, but yeah, over the top as well, got this hard texture. At the diaphragm here, we got that kind of swivel, a little bit of tilt there left and right, but you can mainly rotate around there, so we can get a nice sort of punching motion in. Leg wise, come up this far, forward, back, upper thigh rotation there. We've got the double knee joint that comes all the way up, so he has got a lot of posability there. Rotation around at the boot, and the rocker and the pivot at the ankle there. But yeah, for the Spider-Man costume, very nicely brightly coloured. I kind of like the Spider-Man colour with the light blue and the red on there, and then the arms ripping through. But it's just kind of weird that they kind of use this body sculpt, because he's very thin and fiddly, considering how kind of heavier his top area is. But yeah, anyway, all those sort of move around exactly the same as his upper arms. So again, you've got even more articulation pushed in. So we just put this guy just standing up. I just wanted to bring in the kind of amazing, well, the retro Spider-Man one here. I know this is the Renew Your Vows Spider-Man, and just to show you the size comparisons here, I mean, imagine this guy with the 6 arms, with the largeness of it, it would look pretty cool. So this guy looking pretty diddy, and I didn't expect it to be pretty much on the same body mold as this guy here, just an old doppelganger. So yeah, for these guys being exactly the same size, it's a bit weird, because doppelganger was sort of like a tinier kind of creature, and now Spider-Man's got it. But this guy definitely needs his black lines kind of put in there, so I might get the old Gundam marker and do that as well. But moving on to the second one here, last but no means least is Morbius from the 2-pack. Again, looking pretty cool on here. Not much going for accessories. It's got this kind of back cape looking one that goes on the back, or you can take this off and then put on the standard kind of cape, which I would say, even though as basic as it looks, is probably the better one. You can have it sort of draping down, but if you wanted, and if you're taking a picture and just do it that way, you can actually make him look like he's sort of like jumping across the screen, and you can swing it that way as well, so it kind of look like he's being sort of thrown about or jumping about and stuff like that. So I would say that's the better cape, because the other one, once you put it in, and if you was going to swivel it around, it just looks a little bit more odd in my opinion. But again, this one could look pretty cool if he's sort of jumping down at the camera. Taking it off, we can go through his articulation. So headwise turns left, right, looks down a little bit, not too far back. Full rotation at the arm, and comes up to this far as well. Rotation at the upper arm here. Double hinge, again very large pins in place, and we've got the sort of swivel and the kind of hinged out at the hands. No extra hands with this guy either, no punching hands, so he will be clawing people's eyes out. Here we've got the old kind of sort of body crunch, so he crunches down this far, which is pretty cool, and crunches all the way back that way as well, so you can get some nice sort of like pouncing kind of jumps in there. We have got a swivel at the waist as well, just above his belt, and then legs come out this far, forward, down, back, upper thigh swivel as well, and then with legs that come up all this way, and then we've got the rocker at the get my words out. We've got a swivel at the boot down here, and then we've got the rocker and the pivot at the ankle there. Again, but these just feel really gummy. Like, that's why I got it out, and I just thought, God, this feels like bootleg material, you know. And well, I say bootleg, my Clone Troopers are amazing. These just feel like old type sort of like plastic. Just looks really weird and gummy, considering like when you compare it just to the She-Hulk that we just had a moment ago. Yeah, it just feels a bit odd. But anyway, it doesn't really take too much away from the figure. You know, his posing capabilities are fine, and just sort of standard old Marvel Legends, I guess because it's reuse as well, from way back when. It's the same sort of stuff. He's got the same legs as Doctor Strange, I think, because he had those really thin old sort of Spider-Man, pizza Spider-Man legs, and I think this guy, that's what he's got. It just feels like one leg's taller than the other as well. I haven't actually gone away and posed this guy. I've had him in sort of jumping positions. This is the first time I was looking at him to stand him up, but it's not going too well. But yeah, it can stand him up there, and I can bring in the main guy I kind of got him to go against, which is Blade, and you see a nice size comparison, and Blade can actually hold up his new companion, that is for sure on there. So yeah, looking pretty cool. I would say I'm glad I'd never paid full price for it. Maybe a little bit of a letdown. Could I live without it? Probably. But then curiosity killed the cat. So there we have it, a nice little whole video. Definitely She-Hulk was the winner here, and Kaess and Mundi, you know, is a pretty close second. It's just a shame he didn't have a lot more paint apps on there. And then the 2-pack, which is just some extra figures for the shelf and a little bit of toy photography to come out. But yeah, pretty cool. So thank you all so much for joining me in this one. Don't forget, you can comment down below, you can subscribe, ding the bell, follow me on Instagram, and you can subscribe and follow the channel, join the channel for 99p or 99 cents. And until next time, take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.